Hello and welcome. My name is Nate Doud, and I'm the National Sales Manager for our Final Expense Division here at Premier. I'm really excited about today's call because I have Darren Hancock, one of my good friends from American Amicable, to join us to go over their final expense product and how competitive this actually is in our final expense space. So what I want to do is get this over to Darren. I'm have him go over their product, their underwriting, how they do their application, and a couple different tools that they use to be successful. So Darren, my friend, I'll hand this over to you and let you rock and roll, buddy.
All right, Nate, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys today. We have a lot of good things going on here at American Amicable, and certainly glad to be able to share those with you this morning. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, first off, we're a 100-plus-year-old company, founded in Waco, Texas, and have been operating there ever since 1910. We're A-rated with AM Best. And very importantly, we've been in the final expense or simplified issue market space for over 20 years. I believe we started in 2003. So definitely not an area, a market that we're just getting accustomed to and kind of feeling our way around. We've been doing it for a while and have been through all the bumps and bruises along the way, and it's running really smooth right now. Very knowledgeable employees, a long average tenure. And I think one of the most important things about that tenure is that people know not only how to do their job, but probably more importantly, why they have a job, which, yeah, we love our policyholders, but first and foremost, we want to take care of our agent partners out there and do a great job of taking care of you guys so you can make some money and build your book of business. The last point I'll make before getting into my product information, there's been a lot of changes in the industry in recent months. And the main thing about American Amicable is we're very financially strong. We have a parent company who's also an insurance company who operates us very conservatively. And they've got a lot of money to invest into us for future growth. And so for 2024 and for many, many years beyond, American Amicable is well positioned to now be and continue to be your company of choice. Our final expense product for clients ages 50 to 85 is called the Senior Choice. We have 3 different death benefit plans a client can qualify for. I'll get into the details of those more in a moment. The minimum is $2,500, and we go up to as much as $50,000 on our immediate or day one coverage. Several different riders, and I'll again go into those in more detail here in a second and really focus on that grandchild rider, because as I note here, it's really a difference maker. I know this is a busy screen, but it just kind of summarizes the product specs as a whole. And most final expense companies have specs that are very similar to this, but with a few minor differences. The first plan that we offered, the day one coverage, the full death benefit, we call the immediate plan. For up to age 75, we go up to 50,000, and above age 75, we cap it at 25K. And as the name implies, whenever the death occurs after policy is issued, we will pay out the full death benefit. If they don't qualify for that plan, they may qualify for our graded plan, which pays out 30% of the death benefit in year one, if death occurs in year one, 70% if death occurs in the second year. After 2 years, it's a full 100% payout. And then lastly, we have our return of premium. A lot of other companies call it modified, but basically we're paying back premiums plus interest. If the client is age 50 to 64 when the policy is purchased, it's a 3-year period during which if they pass away, the beneficiary is going to receive the premiums paid in plus 10% interest. After year 3, it's a full payout, full death benefit payout. If they're 65 or older at time of purchase, it works the same way, except it's a 2-year window that we return premiums, and then afterwards we pay the full death benefit. And just to satisfy your curiosity here, if you were to have 10 policies issued with us, you can expect about 7 of them to 8 to be issued in the immediate category, and 1 or 2 to be in the return or premium category, and maybe 1 in the graded. That kind of gives you just a breakdown of the frequency that we issue these plans. The rider that I mentioned before, as far as the difference maker, is this grandchild rider. At its core, it's term insurance that covers each of their grandkids through age 20. And they can purchase it in either $5,000 increment or a $10,000 increment. And you can cover as many of their grandchildren as you'd like. I think I saw an application the other day where we literally had 17 grandchildren covered under one policy. So no one likes to think about the need for insurance to cover their grandkids in the event of their death, because it's obviously not a positive thing to think about. The unfortunate reality is occasionally that does occur, and those funerals can be just as expensive as adult funerals. Someone's got to pay for it, and that burden can fall on parents and also on the grandparents. So it's a nice benefit to have just in case you need it. But on top of that, other benefits it offers: a conversion privilege that allows each of those grandkids to have their own individual policy with us on a guaranteed issue basis. And if they have the $5,000 coverage, they can convert up to a $25,000 policy. If they have a $10,000 policy or term coverage, they can get up to a $50,000 policy with us. Again, the key being no underwriting. So you might not be able to pass along a financial legacy to your grandkids, but this is passing on a legacy through providing for their future insurance. So you're doing something for them now with the term, but also doing something for them in the future with the conversion privilege. Really strong benefit. It's very inexpensive. The cost of the rider is basically $12 a year or $1 a month for each grandchild if you go the $5,000 term option, or you double that to $2 a month if you go the $10,000 route. And last point I'll make is there's another neat feature that's built into this rider. What happens if, let's say, 5 years after the policy's issued, the grandchild's now 10 years old, the grandparent passes away? What happens to this term insurance at that point? Well, the good news is American Amicable makes that paid up, meaning that we will pay the premiums on that term insurance through their age 20. So, the grandkids or family members don't have to make any more premium payments on the term insurance. And then they have that option, as mentioned a moment ago, to convert to their own plan of coverage and paying premiums on it. So again, a really robust rider. And obviously in the senior market, grandkids are, if not number one, certainly one of their top priorities. Doing something to benefit them is of keen interest. So it helps make additional sales for you. It helps make those buying decisions for them, but also it makes the policy more sticky, because it's not just insurance on the senior, it's providing help and insurance and future insurability for their grandkids, which makes it harder for another agent to come behind you and replace this business. So it keeps more policies on the books. A couple of other riders real quick. We have a nursing home waiver premium rider they can add, which if they become confined to a nursing home, we will waive their premium payments for them. Then there's also the accidental death rider, which we're all familiar with how accidental death works. Those are all optional riders. The next two are no cost. Terminal illness. Basically, every company has a terminal illness benefit. What is the difference sometime is the amount that they will pay out. We pay out up to 100% of the death benefit if they're diagnosed with that life expectancy of 12 months or less. And it's their money to spend however they like to help with medical bills, experimental treatments, go on a family trip, maybe the last one you might be able to take with your family. Again, your money to spend any way that you like. Then we also have a confined care rider. There's a few states at the bottom noted where it's not available. I want to point that out. But where the rider is available, if you become a full-time resident in a nursing home, you can receive a fixed monthly payment from us equaling 5% of the face amount. So if you have a $10,000 policy, you're confined to that nursing home. This rider lets you collect $500 a month from us. And each month you get a payment from us that reduces the remaining death benefit. So what's going to happen over the course of time, either you'll live long enough in the nursing home so that you'll receive your full death benefit through those installment payments, or you'll pass away sometime before all that money is paid out, and whatever the remaining death benefit is, that would be paid to your beneficiary. Okay, what's really unique about us is the process. Okay, we have a online application that we developed, found at www.insuranceapplication.com. When you go there and you submit your application, you're going to get one of several different on-screen decisions from us. I'm just going to look at a couple of examples here real quickly. The one that you would prefer to get, obviously, all the time is the case is being issued as applied for. So in this case, you're applying for our immediate or day one coverage, and we're confirming that's what they get. Once you see this, obviously, there's nothing more you need to do. Just simply wait to get paid on this case. Now, the reality is, obviously, we're not going to get this outcome that we want all the time. We're going to get some that we aren't necessarily looking for. One example is you're applying for our day one coverage, and it comes back that they're only eligible for the return of premium plan. So 3 parts of this decision. One, we tell you that outcome, return of premium. And here's where we differ, the next 2 things, from basically any other company out there. Number 2 is we tell you the name of the medication or medications that have affected that outcome. So now, once you have that information, it can be very helpful to you making other decisions with the client. And we'll talk about some of those other decisions in a moment. The third thing that we provide here is the ability for the agent to add some notes. Again, while you're finishing up the app process, this is done, again, while you're still at point of sale, you're able to add some notes. For example, Symbicort, it's primarily for COPD, which is the return of premium outcome, or it could be for asthma, which would be for an immediate outcome. You can put in notes here. Client does not take Symbicort for COPD. They're taking it for their asthma. You say, okay, Darren, so what? I can add some notes. Well, that number 1, that guarantees this case to get further review by our home office staff. Most companies do not let you get additional review. Whatever the on-screen outcome is, that's it. If you don't agree with it, it's kind of tough. You're locked into it. With us, it guarantees the case to get further review. And the next you might ask, well, Darren, okay, great, someone's taking a second look at it. But how successful are those second reviews? Our statistics are constantly showing that around 65 to 70% of the time, when you make that challenge, when you provide those additional notes, we will go with the original plan applied for, which is huge. So it's much better than your odds in Vegas to win effectively. So you know the reason for the outcome, you're allowed to challenge the outcome, and challenges are often very successful. So again, to kind of summarize, why American Amicable is a great company to lead with. Once you're done with the process, you're going to know what our underwriting decision is. If you're happy with that outcome, again, nothing more for you to do, just wait to get paid on the case. If it's not for the plan applied for, good news is we're telling you what the items of concern are. And that additional information that we give you can be used to make other decisions, including doing the challenge piece that we just talked about a second ago, or make other product decisions. Maybe you didn't know that the client was taking a particular medication for CHF. Now that we're telling you they are taking it, and in that case is a decline with us, you can pivot right there at point of sale to another carrier who may accept congestive heart failure. Or another example, maybe Aricept comes back as the reason that we're declining this case. So, basically at that point, you're dealing with Alzheimer's. You can't get that client approved with any other traditional FE carrier. So my pivot is immediately to guaranteed issue. So all of those pivots, again, are occurring at point of sale, and you're directed where to which other company to go to based upon the information we provide, and not just a guess on your part. So again, it really just is a comprehensive program to give you what you need at point of sale to either stick with American Amicable or maybe pivot to another company. In addition to the on-screen decision, we do provide tools in our product guide that allow you to be able to do some pre-qualifying. So real quickly here, this is a medication, Symbicort, which we talked about a moment ago, and its 2 common usages. So if you're just hearing they're taking it, you can turn to this guide and ask them, are you taking it for asthma? Or are you taking it for COPD? And then that will tell you what the outcome should be. We also have a listing of medical conditions that will again tell you what the outcome is going to be for that particular condition. That is senior choice. Again, that's for clients 50 to 85. We do have a companion product that is sold for clients under the age of 50, we call the family choice. Now, in the interest of time, this will go pretty quickly here. It's fairly similar to the senior choice in its product design. Again, the issue ages is 0 to 49 as we described, and it's a minimum of $10,000 to apply. This has 2 plans, the immediate, which we've described before, as well as the return of premium plan. Now, a couple of other points to mention about this. To me, the best use of this product is the situation where maybe one of the individuals you're selling to is 65 and maybe their spouse is 48. So it is nice to be able to have an alternative under the age of 50 to turn to. It's got several different riders. The children's rider is very similar to the grandchild rider that I described earlier, except it's covering their kids, but it includes, term insurance coverage that has a conversion privilege, just like the grandchild rider does. Accidental death benefit rider, a spouse term rider that allows you to get some coverage on the other spouse without having to apply for a second application. Waiver premium. Now this one is for disability. So if they become disabled, we'll waive their premium payments. And then it has the same 2 terminal illness and confined care riders included at no additional cost. For transparency purposes, a couple things I want to mention. Unlike senior choice, the family choice does not presently have an on-screen decision available. So anytime you write the family choice, the application is simply submitted to the home office. And at that point, one of our underwriters will take a look and make a decision. Anytime those cases are sent to the home office for further review, you can typically expect to see an outcome within 3 business days. Usually it's less than that, but that's kind of our standard answer is within 3 business days. Because this is a different product, it has a different application and different health questions. And so there are some things that we do not even ask about on the senior choice that can be even knockout situations on family choice. So just be mindful if someone has a criminal record, some issues with their driving record, or are currently disabled, that could knock them out from the family choice. But again, the agent guide tells you all that. The health questions will tell you all of that. This product has its own medication listing and own medical impairment listing. As I mentioned a moment ago, it's a different app with different health questions. So one condition may be fine on senior choice, but maybe a knockout on the family choice plan. So just use the tool in each product guide to help you there. All right, moving away from some product items, I'll talk about a few other general items that are very helpful, especially as you're just getting started with American Amicable. For each of these products that we have, and a few other products that we're not talking about today, we have remote selling options, multiple options to the application signed if you're doing a remote sale. Certainly you can get it signed in person. That's the most common method, but we do offer email for signature, a very simple voice signature process where you call into our recording service and read a script with the client. It takes about 2.5 minutes to record a signature there, or a text signature process that we've just rolled out within the past year. very simple. We see more and more final expense sales actually involving a text for signature as these younger individuals are turning 50, turning 60. They're just more accustomed to using text as a tool. We have two main websites to be aware of. The second one listed there, we've already talked about, insuranceapplication.com, where you go to write the business. There's also a quoting tool available for you there on that website. Once the business is written, you want to be checking status of it on AmericanAmicable.com, which is your true agent portal or your back office. So whether it be checking status on policies, new policies or old policies, ordering supplies, checking reports, checking your production, looking at commissions or advance statements, all that stuff is done at AmericanAmicable.com. So make sure you're familiar with both of these sites. One of the items that I want to promote specifically on the AmericanAmicable.com site is our chat feature. You can certainly call into our office. We do also accept emails as well, but this chat feature is really the fastest way to communicate with us and get answers. Couple different things you can do on here, check status on policies. There's also a risk assessment tool which allows you to submit your particular situation to underwriting and get an initial underwriting determination based upon the criteria you give them. But again, all those items listed here, you're able to communicate directly with one of our staff, and it avoids sometimes the hold times that can occur on our phone system. Key thing here is that we do draft along with Social Security. So those 5 funding dates that you see here, very important, obviously in this market. When you're filling out our online application, there's a specific question that says, do you want the client's drafts to occur with Social Security? If that's the case, which that's the case a lot, make sure you answer that yes. That will then allow you to select from these 5 responses and make sure the drafts sync up with Social Security. So again, make sure to answer that yes when you're filling out the app. Okay, our main way of communicating with agents is via email, and I'm going to talk about a couple of these as we go through. Advance payments. It's always real nice to see those notifications about how much money is being deposited into your bank account via ACH. I do want to mention that when your advances are triggered, we pay our advances on a daily basis, 5 days a week. So if you're constantly writing business with us, you should be constantly receiving advances. And again, we pay those all on a daily basis. You also will get paid on back-end commissions or earned commissions. I will point out that those are paid out once a month. You also get notices when there's activity related to your new applications. When the application is received, when it's issued, if we add some kind of underwriting requirement, stuff like that, you'll get notices from us, which is just another way of helping you keep tabs on what's going on with your book of business. And then lastly, policy correspondence. This is items, letters, memos that generate on any of the policies that you've ever written, whether it be new applications or an app you wrote 10 years ago. If we're generating correspondence on that, you get a notification of it. One of the most important things to be looking for, obviously to me, is return bank draft notifications. So that's where you'll get those notices sent to you via email, which should be hopefully an immediate trigger for you to take steps to reconcile that problem, whether it be providing new bank account information or whatever the case may be to get that case back on a premium paying basis. So look for those emails from us to keep you informed. I mentioned briefly earlier about direct access to underwriters. Most companies will not let you communicate with their underwriters. We do. There's 2 ways of doing that. There's a risk assess at aatx.com email shown on the screen there, So you just send an email to that with the particulars on your client, or you can use that live chat feature that I showed you a moment ago. And as far as risk assessments are concerned, it can be like details on a real client that you're trying to write, or just hypotheticals. How do you underwrite insulin dependent diabetics, as an example? You can submit those requests through the risk assessment tool. Bottom line, we allow you to be as actively involved in the underwriting process as you like. So we give you that basically, open door policy. Okay, we do also like to have a little fun at American Amicable. We do have very nice convention trips that you could qualify for. For this year's production, 2024's production, we're going in June of 2025 to Edinburgh, Scotland. You can see a few of the photos here, but these really don't do the area justice. Terribly excited about this personally, and hopefully this interests you too. The requirements to qualify at the writing agent level is $95,000 of issued and paid premium, and the qualification period runs from January 1 through December 31. Great trips, first class entertainment, great excursions. From what I've been seeing shown on this, should be one of our best trips that we've had. I talked about our two company websites for American Amicable and insuranceapplication.com earlier. You can always pick up the phone and call us too. There's our main 800 number listed on the screen, along with the prompts that you would enter in to reach the various departments. There's also the email addresses listed there for a department. So between calling, emailing, and using chat, just a variety of ways of communicating with us. Okay, I've reached the end of today's presentation. Thank you again for joining me. I'll turn things back over to Nate to wrap things up.
Darren, thank you so much. I absolutely love everything that AmAm brings to the table for the agents. A couple of the points that I do want to highlight are the different ways to complete the application. A lot of agents now are taking advantage of the new text feature, so make sure that we're taking advantage of that. The other thing with that is the voice signature is still very competitive amongst the agents that are currently using it. So highlight on those things, but the part that the agents are not used to that they come to love is contesting a policy. So if something happens with the underwriting, like you mentioned, they can go back and contest that underwriting decision and get that reversed. And if they do, they can go back to their client and show them that this is the carrier that they want to be with. So I really liked everything that you did today, Darren. Thank you very much. Looking forward to getting a couple of the producers at convention to go to Scotland. That'll be a great time. Just got back from Venice, and AmAm does an incredible job of hosting these events. So Darren, I appreciate you today. And if you guys have any questions, feel free, give us a call, shoot us an email. My contact information is below here. You can see. Give me a call, 800-365-8208. Thanks a lot, guys.